Cliffing.
There's a lot of strong fan reactions on the internet right now after The Walking Dead's shocking mid-season finale. Outrage and sadness from all over the globe have poured in about a character that we all assume is as good as dead. Beware, beyond this point there are spoilers for those who are not up to date on the show, and spoilers from the comics, which go much further than where we currently are in the Walking Dead AMC series. Now let's get into the supposed character death we saw on Sunday night. That's right, I'm talking about the toughest kid in the apocalypse, Carl Grimes. But what if all this fan reaction and emotional turmoil was exactly what the executive producers and showrunner wanted you to think and feel? What if all these signs and even the bite marks seen around the world were one big misdirect?
Is that just a play? I thought we were having a moment, you little asshole! Move the word!
This video is going to explore a possible theory that would explain Carl's bite and still let him live. Right now, we are in the middle of the All Out War storyline. Fans of the comics know how All Out War ends, but I won't get into too many details about that as it doesn't pertain to this theory. Beyond All Out War and the Saviors, the next major group of villains that appear in the comics are the Whisperers. Let me give you a little background on this really strange community. The Whisperers are a very simple people that live their life the way a pack of lions would. They barely speak and respect aggression and power. Their demeanor is similar to the garbage people community of season 7 and 8, who actually were never depicted in the comics, but they are much more mysterious and primal than even those scavenging double-crossers we all kind of hate. The very unique thing about the Whisperers is that they look like walkers. To be able to travel freely, their group started skinning walkers and wearing their flesh as camouflage. As they wander in packs with real zombies, they can't speak out loud to communicate, which would alert the real zombies, so they whisper, which is super creepy. In the comics, the viewers were led to believe zombies learned the ability to speak at first. Pretty terrifying, right? So knowing that the next big baddie in the series is possibly the Whisperers tells us that the producers could be setting up signs for their appearance already, as Negan was first teased halfway through season 6, even though we didn't see him until the very last scene of season 6, and really didn't see him in action until season 7. One possible indicator, or at least an Easter egg, actually just came up in season 8 episode 7. As Rick was arriving back at the sanctuary with the garbage people, they came across a body hanging down from a water tower, being munched on by some walkers with his face missing. This shot is very close to an iconic death in the comics of none other than Father Gabriel. Now we know that Gabriel is still alive for the time being, but this shot could be meant as a very subtle tease to the Whisperers. Now that we've established that the Whisperers do exist in the comics, and could possibly have been teased in the series, here's where our theory comes in. What if the Whisperers are out there and Carl was in fact bitten by a Whisperer? The bite did happen off screen. We know there's been lots of speculation on when the bite happened in episode 6, but what if this scene is only meant to make people think that? What if there was another moment off-cam as Sadiq and Carl were heading back to Alexandria when they came across another group of walkers, with one Whisperer mixed in there? What if this one Whisperer got hurt bad by Carl or Sadiq and bit Carl in a last-ditch effort to get away before he was killed? If that was the case, then Carl would still have those bite marks and could end up surviving all-out war and that bite after all. We think that Rick and company will have to fight before Carl dies from his infection, or so they think, and the fighters will have to leave him in the sewers or wherever they find a safe place to regroup. Rick and all the communities will be so worked up about Carl's death that they will battle their hearts out in his name and win all-out war. When they get back, Carl will still be alive and ready for the Whisperers next season. We think this is completely possible and would be the biggest surprise in the history of the series. Now, there are some strong points that suggest Carl is in fact infected by a walker bite and is going to die, and we'd like to address those. First, Carl is sweating like he's in a swamp in Georgia the whole episode. Sure sign of walker bites, right? Well, what about Father Gabriel? He's also sweating like a dog, but he definitely was not bitten. If Gabriel has some kind of flu or something like the sickness they got in the prison, couldn't he have given it to Carl?
Kill me.
That would explain the sweating. Carl also looks worn down pretty hard by the end of the episode when he reveals his bite to Rick, but he did almost get blown up a few times. Being knocked back by an explosive blast is bound to make any teenager look pretty crappy. Another argument is that Chandler, Riggs, and his father seem upset about this decision. There's a Facebook post from Chandler's father condemning Gimple and AMC, and Chandler's interview which said this was not his decision, which means it's gotta be true, right? Many popular shows that have had issues with leaks in the past have chosen not to keep their cast in the loop. Just because Chandler and his dad think that Carl's dead for now doesn't mean he will die. They could have shot extra scenes they won't use or need, or plan to reshoot certain scenes for the end of the season. People have mentioned that Chandler got a haircut, so that must mean that he's definitely done. But has anyone ever heard of extensions? We think that this theory is very plausible, and we, like most of you, don't want to see Carl die.
You want to die?
No, I don't.
We would question the tactics used by the showrunner and EPs, but at the end of the day, the goal in a show like this is to surprise people, and this would be a shocking surprise. Maybe this theory is actually just a backup plan for the producers, depending on how much negative response they get for Carl's impending death. A way to test the waters without actually killing him.
What did you say?
So let's all tell them we don't want Carl to die. Please let us know what you think in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe.